so wild and free, and it all made sense to me. If I'm gonna die a young American, then this was the final night we'd ever have again. I'd be just fine as long as I'm wherever you are, 'cause you stole my young American heart.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are going into our next segment here on Flame of the West podcast. And we are going to switch gears a little bit. We want to kind of talk about how Democrats are bizarrely still going through and basically mourning the capture of Maduro, and they're still going through and criticizing the Trump administration here.
What else is new, folks?
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Okay, so we're gonna take a close look at this revealed in depth. We're going to look at the political inconsistencies and the challenges that it poses for our nation and our foreign policy, and we're going to go through all that. So first, let's rewind here for a second. Let's look back at the capture of Maduro on the 3rd of January, this past January. U.S. forces, at the behest of the Department of Justice, conducted a raid in Venezuela, resulting in Maduro's arrest and extradition to New York, where he faces charges related to drug trafficking and corruption. The operation was described by the White House as a necessary step to address threats to the U.S.'s national security, including Maduro's alleged ties to narcotics networks that have flooded American streets with illegal drugs. Maduro, along with his wife, pleaded not guilty in court on January 4th.
Big surprise.
Shocker. But the capture marked the end of his long, quote-unquote, tenure as Venezuela's leader, which had been marked by economic collapse, human rights abuses, and international isolation.
Interjection here just for a second. Wasn't Maduro actually, I don't know, democratically unelected? I mean, didn't they elect somebody else rather than Maduro? He was supposed to leave like a year and a half ago, wasn't he?
That is correct. That he had lost election, and he basically said no.
I wonder why the Democrats have sympathy for him then.
Oh, at the time they hated him. They didn't even recognize Maduro, and I'll talk about here in a little bit. They didn't even recognize Maduro as the real leader, but now all of a sudden Trump gets involved, and now we've changed pace here. So now to understand the Democrats' response here.
Do you claim to know how the Democrats think? Do we know? I mean, how can we know how they think?
Well, I am not the late great Rush Limbaugh, so I can't understand like he did, but I can try. We need to go back and look at all of their past positions on Maduro. For years, leading Democrats' condemnation of Maduro as a tyrant responsible for oppressing his people, rigging elections, and driving Venezuela into poverty. Democrats supported sanctions recognized by the opposition leaders, and he was recognized by the opposition leaders as legitimate.
The opposition leaders were recognized as legitimate. So whoever won that election, they technically were the illegitimate leader of Venezuela.
That is correct, yes. So the Democrats went as far as to call for international pressure to force him from power. Shocker.
Which I would agree with. I would agree with that. I mean, but did they do it? Did anybody do it?
No, and you just look at the Biden administration. He had plenty of time to go do that, but right. So
what did Sleepy Joe do?
So we look at the Democrats supported sanction. They recognized all of this, tried to force him from power. But here's the big kicker, folks. Biden administration even offered $15 million reward, and they later upped it. It later increased.
$50 million.
Yeah, correct. They later increased it to $50 million in 2020. Democrat senators and representatives have repeatedly urged action against the regime, highlighting the humanitarian crisis in Venezuela that's forced millions of people to flee. So they all recognized it. They all saw it. They all knew it would happen. But all of a sudden, Trump gets into power, wants to do something, and then we can't.
Isn't it incredible that everything Donald Trump does is reckless, unauthorized, violates every law known to man, but he's doing exactly what they would have done one step further. They have sanctions, they have pressure, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we have sanctions, well, he ain't listening to it, folks. Let's go get him.
Right? It's just unreal. But it goes back to, along with everything we've said, Orange Man bad. But now let's fast forward to the Trump administration's successful operation, and the tone shifted dramatically. Top Democrats immediately denounced the raid as reckless, unauthorized, and a violation of international law. Heaven forbid. They argued that the action bypassed Congress completely.
Of course, no. If anybody had any sense of brain that was planning some kind of black op, would you tell Congress? I mean, those blabbermouths would have told old Nick Maduro, "Hey, you might want to watch out. They're coming to get you," and he would have been on the next plane to Beijing, Moscow, or Tehran if Trump would have kept Congress in the loop.
Oh yeah, they can't. I mean, they can't keep their mouth closed. It's a sinking ship.
And if I remember correctly, I think it may have been President Trump or Marco Rubio who said, "If we would have told you, you would have told." So it wasn't. It was referring to the bombing of the nuclear facilities in Iran. If we told you, you would have told everybody, and then we wouldn't have had the element of surprise. So of course they didn't tell Congress.
Yeah, it's exactly, Marco did say that, and it's they leaked just as bad as that Titanic did. I mean, it's terrible. And
that's terrible.
But I mean, it's true.
That you're insulting the Titanic.
Well, I'm not insulting the Titanic, just the people that made it.
But to compare the Titanic to Congress, dude, that's oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Titanic. My apologies. So Congress then argued that this lacked a clear plan for what comes next for Venezuela, and this could destabilize the region further. Some even accused the Trump administration of focusing on foreign adventures to distract from domestic issues like the economy and healthcare. Even potential 2028 presidential contenders weighed in, criticizing the move as dangerous and ill-conceived, emphasizing the absence of an exit strategy and potential risks to American interests abroad. But isn't it odd how it only took a half hour?
Yeah, it was in and out, and we don't have a plan. We have our answer for every plan, everything that goes on in our government now. It's Marco Rubio. Marco's going to take care of it. Marco's going to be the head of this. Marco's going to be running Venezuela next.
Yeah, it's just it's. I mean, we clearly had an exit plan because it took 30 minutes. I think 33, if we want to be precise. But it was extremely impressive. To do an operation.
When you're talking about an operation like that, you're splitting hairs over 3 minutes. I mean, like, unless you're the operation is played like a video game. Yeah, unless you're really have timetables like that, then 3 minutes more or less is like 33 minutes to get in, neutralize the power grid, neutralize the security, get the bad guy, and get out. I mean, you couldn't do that on a video game. It would take you longer than that in a video game to do that.
Yeah, it was very, very impressive. And to follow up your kind of question statement about Marco Rubio and next steps. So I looked up kind of where the government's outline for next steps is. And it looks like basically the interim regime's job is to stabilize Venezuela. Rubio outlined in a phased approach. He said short-term stabilization through the U.S. oversight of oil revenues via monthly budgets submitted for approval to fund essential services like Medicaid and infrastructure, recovery by normalizing the oil industry with a new hydrocarbon law to attack private investment, and transition to democracy by releasing political prisoners, estimated up to 2,000. They're holding 2,000 political prisoners. Isn't that ridiculous? I mean, they tried to go after Donald Trump. Imagine if he would run in Venezuela, they would have just locked him up for no reason. It's insane. But this, in hopes of creating a space for opposition, partisan, and ultimately holding free and fair elections, where societal elements are represented, aiming for a prosperous, stable, and democratic Venezuela aligned with U.S. interests. So basically, they are hoping to, you know, try to mirror us, or give them some sense of stability, get them back on the democratic path, get them back to be stabilized, and basically run as a free and fair Venezuela.
You know, a lot of people criticized George Bush for a lot of stuff he did, but if you look back, and I'm bringing back for a lot of people ancient history, but what we did in Iraq, and yes, I know a lot of people don't like what happened in Iraq, but we did do that. We went in, we took out Saddam Hussein, we set them up on the path for free and fair elections, and pretty much got out. And in Iraq right now, they're not a crazy strong country, but they're an ally in the region, which we need. And for what's going on in Central America, yes, we want Venezuela, especially as Venezuela's. And yes, people are going to criticize. It's about oil. It's about this. It's about all that. Well, that oil is not going to China anymore, because that's something that I know I sent you a video about it from Beck, who was describing the flow of oil from I believe it was Venezuela to Iran to China, and uh, so since we've neutralized that, yeah, that takes China out of the picture on a lot of stuff. That goes into to keeping America first and keeping America free, taking out those threats. And the Democrats will talk big. They'll talk big, and they'll talk big and talk big and talk big because it sounds like they're doing something. But when somebody comes along and does something, oh my gosh, you're an evil, crazy person, and what did you do? And oh my goodness, you did this and you did that. It's like, but he did what you said you were going to do.
Yeah, and that's they all go after Trump for,
Everything.
the exact same thing that they've said forever. That they're going to do this, they're going to do this. They never do it. Well, Trump just happens to be the one to step up and go and does it, and that's, yeah. It's just unreal. So okay, so for us to kind of learn from this, we need to kind of take away a broader pattern. This reversal isn't isolated. It's a symptom of hyperpartisanship, where opposition to Trump's oversight, where opposition to Trump overrides consistent principle. So, from a conservative viewpoint, it's frustrating to see politicians who once demanded Maduro's ouster now question the very success they sought. The White House has even pointed out inconsistencies, noting how Democrats' criticism seems motivated more by who accomplished the task than by the task itself. Conservatives argue that this undermines.
It's the old orange man bad.
It
Because oh
is.
my gosh, yeah, orange man bad, orange man bad, orange man bad, orange man bad, orange man bad.
Yeah, it's all about Orange Man bad. Conservatives are arguing that this undermines U.S.'s credibility on the world stage and signals weakness to adversaries. If removing a dictator like Maduro, who has been linked to narco-terrorism and alliances with hostile regimes like Iran and Russia, is suddenly problematic, what does that say about our commitment to fight globalist threats?
And obviously, this like I just said a little bit ago, um, a lot of Democrats are saying, "Oh, Trump's just going in because of the oil." Well, yes, he is, but it's not necessarily just for us. And to be honest, folks, yes, I would love if a gallon of gas was less than $1 a gallon, but this isn't necessarily the point. The point is, you took Maduro out. You took a guy who is not not friendly at all to the United States, not friendly to uh, Great Britain, Israel, Canada, Mexico, anybody. He's not a nice man. We took him out. We took his ability out to send energy to China, and China now can't do, and Russia. Well, Russia has their own oil. Russia has tons of oil. So Russia doesn't have to go to Venezuela to get oil, but China does. China does not have oil. And if I remember correctly, they were going through Iran because Iran has the refinery capability that China doesn't.
Yeah.
And Venezuela has the oil, Iran has the refinery capability, and then they send it to China. And we've taken a lot of that energy away from China. And
China.
Yeah, that clip just it keeps on giving. But yeah, now we've taken that away from China, and now China could possibly they've been making noise about going into Hong Kong. Was it Hong Kong or Taiwan? I can't remember which one of those.
I believe it was Taiwan.
So now we take the ability of them out, so they can't go after Taiwan. We keep one of our allies in the region in the Far East safe. I mean, good heavens, folks, what more good could we have done by taking out Maduro?
Biden could have done it.
Sleepy Joe could have taken out Maduro. I don't think Sleepy Joe would have taken out Maduro.
If anybody on the face of the planet other than Donald Trump did it, it would have been the biggest success this world has ever seen. But yet Trump did it.
Why do they hate him so much? Is it because he's got so much money that they can't buy him off? It's because he can't be bought off. Trump can't be bought off, so they can't come in and say, oh, Mr. Trump, we'll pay you if you do this. We'll pay you. It's like, are you kidding? I got more money than God himself.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of it, and it's I don't think it's all of it, but I think it's a big part of it. And yeah, they can't buy him off, and he's determined that this is for the American people. This is for the Constitution, and and for some bizarre reason, that goes against rules for radicals.
It's not just for the American people, though. Remember what I just said about you take away China's ability to harass Taiwan, you take away Iran's ability to project power over the Middle East, you take away Maduro's ability to send in drugs and to help his fraternal communist allies. That doesn't just help the United States, that helps everybody. So why is that a bad thing? Because orange man bad, orange man bad.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's orange man bad. There's just no other way to put it.
Really, if you look at it, it's not so much that it's Trump, it's because he's doing good. He's doing something good. And the Democrats, and not just the Democrats, but these people that are opposing this, it's not just the Democrats, it's people who are evil. And I'm sorry, folks, we got to call evil what it is. If you are out there advocating for Iran and for China and for and I know that a lot of people say that Trump's in bed with Putin, but I mean for Putin too, it's like, good heavens, if you're advocating for that, how dare you come out and say anybody stopping them is evil? That's just, it's beyond me. And obviously it's because he's doing good, but Satan always throws opposition to when you're doing good, and when you're doing good, it's going to be the roughest opposition. It's like the closer you get to doing the right thing, the closer you get to God, the more Satan comes after you.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I know we were talking about that the other night too. So let's look at the historical context to really kind of appreciate these stakes. So Venezuela under Maduro had been a failed state since at least 2013. They had lots of hyperinflation, food shortages, a refugee crisis. You probably remember seeing all of the bread lines, and I know that's happened a lot in Cuba as well. But they're real. They are real. I mean, it looks like something out of a movie, but it is definitely real. This a crisis. They've had a refugee crisis that's displaced over 7 million people. So
wait a minute, think about it. 7 million people. How many people live in Indiana? It's about 8 or 10 million people, right? That's nearly the whole that's nearly the whole population of the state of Indiana. That's 3/4 of the population of the state of Ohio. That's a lot of people.
That's clearly a lot, and for the regime not to even care, it's just really mind blowing. So the U.S. has long viewed this regime as a clear security risk, not just for humanitarian reasons, but because of its role in drug trafficking networks that afflict American communities. Past administrations, including The previous administration, Biden administration, has opposed sanctions, has imposed sanctions and supported opposition efforts, but no one, surprisingly, took any decisive military actions. Trump's raid changed that, fulfilling what conservatives see as a long overdue promise to confront dictators who harm U.S. interests. Yet Democrats' criticism raised questions about consistency. How can one condemn a tyrant's action for years, then fault the means to end them?
Orange man, bad.
Talk about contradictory, right, Joe? So, as conservatives, we believe in moral clarity. Evil must be confronted. No excuse, not even excused for political gain. To further dive into this, think about what this hypocrisy means for U.S. foreign policy. So, if Democrats criticize successful operations against adversaries simply because Trump led them, it weakens our ability to act decisively in the future. Conservative sources note that, unfortunately, this could embolden other regimes like those in Cuba, Nicaragua, knowing that the U.S. resolve might fracture along party lines. It also distracts from the real achievement. Maduro's capture disrupts narco networks, potentially reducing drug flow into the U.S. and aiding Venezuela's path to recovery. So some Democrats have tried to shockingly pivot from this, trying to capture concerns of affordability and domestic priorities.
It's the whole oil bringing down
Correct.
price of a gallon of gas.
Correct. Yeah, and arguing that Trump is more focused on foreign interventions than lowering costs at home. But conservatives counter that national security and economic issues are linked. So Maduro's alliances with China and Russia threaten regional stability. And it was very clear that they were aligned with China. I mean, just the day before Maduro was captured, he had China there. They were there, and he met with China, and they were working on some deal.
Was it President Xi himself, which I can't say his name or else they'll come after and get me?
No, I believe it was his diplomatic people. But so it's very, very clear that they were all involved.
Well, of course, the evil is always gonna gravitate towards evil.
Oh, of course, yeah. So we've got Maduro's alliances with China and Russia they were threatening regional stability, which indirectly affects the U.S. trade and energy prices. This raid, in this view, advances both security and prosperity. Others in the Democrat Party have expressed private frustrations with their colleagues' response, feeling it appears weak on confronting dictators and cartels.
Would that be Senator John Fetterman?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, he's the only one on that side that's got any common sense. We may have talked about this in our last episode. I mean, who would have thought 5 years ago or so that John Fetterman would be the only person on the Democrat side that has any common sense? I mean, the man is disabled by a stroke, and now he's the only one that's got a brain, it seems like.
Yeah, it's just really it's wild how far he's come. And hopefully he continues to become a halfway decent Democrat advocate.
You know they're gonna run him out of his office. The Democrats they'll primary him, and he'll be the latest, Tulsi Gabbard or somebody like that who's gonna, like, I didn't leave the Democrat Party, they left me, And John Fetterman, hey, if you can come out and say, I believe in the sanctity of life and all that, and I am for the and because he's halfway here, he's 90% of the way here. It's like, it's not the Republican Party. It's like, dude, we'll welcome you to the light side. Get away from the dark side of the force. We'll welcome you to the light side. We love people who love America, and please do come and love America and future Americans.
Yeah, exactly. We welcome him to our side for sure. But this internal divide, it highlights a learning point.
An internal divide in the Democrat Party, or just in our government.
Correct. Basically, what's happening here is when politics trump principle, It erodes trust on any side. As Catholic conservatives, I know that we must strive for consistency, guided by truth, and the church calls on truth in all things. If the Democrats are defending a dictator, what's next? I mean, solidarity with tyrants over American values. I mean, it's
They've
just
already been doing that for years.
oh, of course, it's crazy. So let's kind of take a little bit of a pivot here. Look at this in from a Catholic conservative Christian prospect here. So we've got Isaiah chapter 1, verse 17 talks about defending the oppressed. We need to pray for Venezuela's suffering under socialist chains. So, from this perspective, this situation calls us to reflect on justice and mercy. The church's teaching in the Catholic's Catechism basically says that legitimate defense is a grave duty for those responsible for the common good. Removing a leader like Maduro, whose regime has caused immense suffering, aligns with defending the oppressed, as in Isaiah chapter 1, verse 17, urges seeking justice for and correct oppression.
You know what this just made me think of? Who we need to be asking for. I don't know if there's any of the folks out there that are really gonna, if they're not Catholic, they're gonna understand this. But prayer for intercession is Saint John Paul, because he grew up under an oppressive, first the fascists from Germany, the Nazis, and then after the World War II, it immediately goes right to the communists in the Soviet Union controlling Poland. So I mean, folks, pray to Pope John Paul, pray for his intercession for the people of Venezuela, and I'm sure the folks in Venezuela are, at least folks my age who remember Pope John Paul, and even your age, they're going to be like, oh, John Paul II, we love you. Please pray for us because we're undergoing what you underwent in your life in Poland.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We need help. Basically, we need to pray for these people. We need to pray for the people of Venezuela that they finally get some peace and true freedom. So basically, what do we need to do? What can we do? A lot of times we sit on the sidelines, and we feel like there's not a whole lot we can do. But one of them is pray, and we need to try.
Don't get us wrong, folks. Prayer is huge.
Oh, it's
As
powerful.
much as
Yeah.
much as we think, oh, I'm praying, I'm praying, I'm praying, I'm praying. If you pray for the intercession of somebody as powerful as Saint John Paul, in this case, my gosh, Pope John Paul lived through, like I said, Poland under the Nazis and the communists, and he along with Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher brought down the Soviet Union. So I mean, who else would you ask for prayers? Powerful intercession, powerful intercession.
Yeah, and as Catholics, we definitely need to be praying the Rosary. The Rosary is a very powerful tool, and for our non-Catholic brethren out there, it is it's our Catholic weapon. It's one of our most powerful prayers given to us by Our Lady.
Oh, there's even non-Catholics who do make a devotion to the Rosary, and if you're not Catholic and you're praying the Rosary, we welcome you to pray along with us. Please do, because take it all to Our Lady. I mean, as much as we say, yeah, pray for intercession of the saints or ask people to pray for us, who more powerful than the Mother of God herself, right next to him? I mean, she sits at his side. The Israelite queen was never the king's wife; it was always the mother. And if anybody wanted the king's favor, they would go to his mother. And this is in the kingdom of Israel. So our Lady being the intercessor, it goes along with biblically with the Israelite kingdom and the queen mother. So ask the king's mother. It does kind of go along with that. I mean, if she asks you to do something, you'll do it. And even Christ did. Even Christ, when he didn't want to do it, the wedding feast of Cana, and she said, "My son, they have no wine." And Jesus, like, "What, woman? What is this to do with me?" Now that's a double meaning. People think, "Oh, that's terrible," but you're just calling your mother woman. It's like woman, the woman in the story of Genesis. So I mean that shows the powerful intercession of the Blessed Mother. Yes, pray the Rosary, pray for intercession of the saints, and now obviously I think we kind of got Venezuela taken care of mostly, but we still got to pray. We still got to pray because we don't want it to destabilize further, we need to send you, Marco, we need you to go in soon, but we need to stabilize the region and keep it safe for, like the old rally cry, safe for democracy. No, we need to keep it safe for everybody.
Yeah, yeah, and then that's definitely very important. So, um, we can try to do our best. Joe and I are here. We're basically trying to expose the hypocrisy. Um, and I guess I can't really call this a regime change because this didn't really change regimes. It's still
You got a squatter out of the
yeah,
out of the
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So basically, we need to support this effort. It stabilizes the entire region. I mean, I can't say that enough. So many people think it's just about the oil. No, I mean, yes, the oil is very important, and we are, but with that, we'll be able to make the region wealthy. We'll be able to make the people of Venezuela wealthy. Yes, it's going to align with our interest, but if they align with our interest, then that's a huge positive.
Yeah, the oil is just a bonus.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's totally just a bonus. Yeah, yeah, which it's a very nice bonus. But in wrapping up, the Democrats' criticism of Maduro's capture, despite their past demands for his removal, reveals a troubling inconsistency that prioritizes opposition to Trump over principled foreign policy.
Orange man bad. That's the echo. That's everything today that we've been talking about. You trace it back to the Democrats saying orange man bad, orange man bad. It's like they say it enough times, then people will eventually agree with it. Yeah, eventually that you say it so many times. Yeah, yes, we know they're cuckoo. They're cuckoo. We know, but the
No, she
orange
means
man.
repetition.
Oh,
Repetition.
repetition. Well, hey, both kind of go along. I mean, if you keep repeating goofy stuff, I mean, eventually it's like, really, or cuckoo. But yeah, you repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, and eventually some people will get to think that it's true, and they brainwash enough people into thinking it's true, and that's why, to some degree, we got where we did during the Biden administration.
Yeah, 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 I completely agree. So basically, conservatives are seeing this as an opportunity to highlight the benefits of decisive action. We're disrupting threats, advancing security, and upholding justice. We can learn from all of this by advocating for policies that are consistent, moral, and the big one, America first. These policies are all America first. This is definitely an American first policy. There's a few other topics that we're going to talk about. We're going to have to wrap this up, and we're going to film in some other topics. But that is definitely another topic that I think we can talk about.
Going
Down the
along
line.
with all this, our country's opposition to this, it's so ridiculous, and yeah, it's hypocritical because um, I was seeing on the news. I can't remember if it was Fox or Newsmax or even clips from like Daily Wire or something like that, where they were talking to Venezuelan people who are living in this country, and they were saying we're glad Maduro's gone, but at the same time, the Democrats are like, oh, they're destabilizing Venezuela and it's going to make things terrible for Venezuela. No, if I want to find out what's going on in that country, I'm going to go to those people who were most affected by it. I'm not listening to Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer or no matter how well-meaning those people are. Yeah, I'll listen to the Venezuelan mother or grandmother who lives in Houston or Miami or whatever that says, yeah, we're glad Maduro's gone.
Yeah, and I think that's so many people in this country. You saw even just hours after the capture of Maduro, you had all these people in New York with professionally made signs, just like we just talked about in Minnesota. They had
And
all these.
Venezuelan flags. Where are they getting these things?
Well,
I don't even know where I can go to buy other than the like Meyer to buy an American flag, much less a freaking Venezuelan flag. Where do you get a Venezuelan flag? Where do you get a Russian flag? Where do you get an Iranian? Where do these people get all these things?
Well, once they're bringing their trucks in, you trade, So it's whatever they're supporting. They just trade the flag from the last rally, and they switch it out. That's probably what's going on.
So they're it's like baseball cards. So then they're trading.
Yeah.
I'll trade you a Venezuelan flag for a Ukrainian flag if you trade me an Israeli flag for a rainbow flag.
Right. It's just not.
Countries.
Yeah, we've got to. We basically need to keep this America first, and it was clear that somehow something leaked. I just kept thinking about the New York thing. It's clear that something leaked.
New York.
Well, they were protesting right
Oh,
after
okay.
Maduro's capture, just a couple hours after. I mean, it was very clear that there was some kind of a leak of some sort in there.
Mark will get after that leak.
Yeah, I'm sure Mark he'll get his pipe wrench out and get that leak fixed. But yeah,